Good evening, pilots, and welcome back to Flying with OverKill F-18C. This is Mark 82's continued. After reviewing the previous video, it dawned on me that I need to correct something I said. I have no idea what the hell I was thinking, but I need to fix something I said because it was completely wrong. And then the second thing is, in the CCRP mode for Mark 82s, I showed you guys one method of using CCRP, but I forgot to show you the second. So, without further ado, let's go bombing. So the first thing that we need to do is talk about the thing that I don't know what I was saying. Like, I really have no idea why I said what I said. So let's get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the camera here. So just so you have reference, today we are carrying the standard Mark 82s. There are no drag options on these bombs. They are strictly free fall release weapons. So anytime that you're using these, the standard Mark 82s, you're going to want to make sure that you are at high enough altitude, whether you're in CCIP or CCRP, because these bombs are going to be falling just as fast as you're flying. So if you're too low, you're going to eat it. Alright? Anyway, so getting into the setup. So first we're going to go Mark 82. And we're going to go mode, and we're going to go auto for CCRP, manual fusing nose just like the others, and electronic fusing instant. You want them to be armed as soon as they come off the rails. Now the next part is the part where I screwed up on. So first we're going to go to UFC, and we're going to go to quantity, okay? And we're going to go quantity, and we want to do 2, okay? But then multiplier, this is where I sort of screwed up. I forgot to hit enter. There we go. This is where I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I said multiplier would be, or multiples would be, I think I said something along the lines of how many times it'll repeat the sequence or some crap like that. Complete BS. I have no idea what was wrong with my head that night. But multiplier is, or multiples is how many bombs will release from the rails for each sequence. So the quantity is how many times do we want it, how many bombs do we want to release total, and then the multiplier is how many bombs do we want it to release at a time. So for example, if you leave multiple at 1, but you have a total of 4 bombs, it's going to go bunk, 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 bump, 4 bombs. Okay? If we set it to multiple of 2, so in that case, actually let's change quantity to 4. This is going to make more sense. Multiples of 2 and hit enter. Okay? An interval of 25 feet. Okay? What's going to happen is when we pickle the bomb, 2 bombs are going to drop at a time for a total of 4, 25 feet apart. So it's going to go drop, okay, 2 bombs are going to come off the rails, then after 25 feet of distance, 2 more bombs are going to drop off the rails. Okay, so that's the correction I wanted to make. The next thing we want to talk about is the CCRP bombing. So we showed you CCRP bombing with a waypoint in place, but what if you don't have a waypoint in place? Well, you can use the target designator. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We already have our master arm set. Now we're going to go into air to ground mode. Okay. And once we're in air to ground mode, we want to make the HUD our sensor of interest. And what we're going to do with that is hit sensor select forward, and you'll see the little dot come into the front of the flight path indicator, letting you know that the HUD is your sensor of interest. And now we get this pepper, okay, this crosshair. And what we're going to do is our TDC depress, or target designator depress, whatever you have that mapped to. Okay, whenever this little dot right here, where my crosshair is, my mouse is where you want it to be, you're going to hit your target designator, and then you'll get your bomb steering line just like we saw before, and the same process will be just as identical. Now, a couple of tips with CCRP bombing in general with the Mark 82s. Okay, first off, doesn't matter if we're doing high altitude, it doesn't matter if we're doing precision low altitude bombing, or precision, use that word loosely, that's the whole problem. We're doing low altitude bombing with precise coordinates, I should say. It's still, CCRP bombing with the Mark 82s is all in all a very unreliable way to bomb. If you're going to use the Mark 82s, I highly recommend CCIP. Okay, either dive bombing right down on your target or doing your low altitude passes. Okay, with the high drag bombs. And I'm going to show you guys why. So unless you're going, like, you wouldn't want to use this on like a single tank, okay? Now if you're attacking a building, a factory, or a whole convoy of vehicles, and your objective is just to do as much damage as you can, maybe stop the convoy, whatever, that'll work just fine. But I'm going to show you guys what happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and undo our active pause here. And now you guys, I'm going to zoom way in, and our target field is just down there before. Now, as I pitch down, notice that the pipper is not doing anything yet, okay? And that's because of the altitude that we're at, all right? So as I continue to pitch and this crosshair meets the velocity vector, then we'll be able to move it, or the flight path indicator, however you want to call it. So watch it. Here's how it happens. Pitching down, pitching down, pitching down, pitching down. Now it's moving with my flight path indicator. Okay, same thing when I pitch back up. All right, so we're going to put it right about there. Okay, so here's what I've done, and at least I try to do, and a little tip that I recommend is you want to try to remember, especially when you're dropping multiple bombs, which I highly recommend when using CCRP with the Mark 82s. You want to do a couple of bombs. Okay, I would recommend anywhere from at minimum 2, optimal 8, honestly. But you want to put your crosshair just before your target. Okay, give the bombs a chance to spread out and really lay down some weight. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and come left a little bit. I'm a little too off course for what I want to do here. Unpause my camera. I was wondering why I couldn't look around there. That's probably closer. All right, let's bring her in. That's better. Alright, so that's a little bit better. Although we should have our... Alright, so I've had this happen before. Hang on a second. We're going to reset this. So I'm going to hit my undesignate button. I'm going to come down here. Zoom in really freaking quick. Get back on track here.
Altitude. Altitude.
There's my target line. Pull the aircraft back up. My bomb queue's already going, so I'm holding my bomb button down. Bombs are away. At least I think they dropped. Let's find out. Yep. Let's see if we get anything today. Okay, so we got one of them. But you guys can see what I mean by it's not particularly reliable. Okay, but let's try that again. I'll tell you what. Let's spread this out a little bit. They're dropping a little too fast. So let's go UFC. We'll highlight interval, and let's do 75 feet. Let's open that up a bit and see if we can't get better results. So I'm going to fly us out. Let's get some altitude up. I'm going to hit my target undesignate button, so my pinky button in this case. Get our crosshair back. Start bringing it around. There it is. Alright, let's bring it in. Okay, let's pitch it down. This isn't going to be perfect again, but you know, what the hell, right? Let's see if we can't get her on target here. You know what, let's go up to the ones at the other end. Come on, baby. Okay, there's our lock. Alright, stabilize. Let's get on our course line. Here comes the bomb queue. I'm holding the pickle button. And bombs away. Let's see if we can catch anything this time. Okay. So there you guys go. That's CCRP bombing with the Mark 82 in a handbasket. Like I said, I just forgot a couple of things. So first off, remember the multiplier indicates the number of bombs that will pickle at one time. So once you hold the button, whatever number you have the multiplier, that's how many bombs come off instantly. The interval is how many times the next set of bombs will come off, or how many feet until the next set of bombs come off the rails. Alright, really not anything else to it. Again, I really don't recommend CCRP bombing with the Mark 82s. It's just not a particularly effective way to bomb. They're just not accurate enough. If you're going to do CCRP high altitude bombing, stick with your GBUs. You know, use your targeting pods and your laser guidance weapons for the high altitude bombing. Which we are going to get into here very shortly. My next segment will be on the TGP. We'll learn how to use the targeting pod, and then we'll start getting into Maverick delivery. Okay, so we're going to work on the laser guided and the TV guided Maverick missile systems. Alright, so stay tuned, guys. There's more coming. Have a great week, guys.